This is 158, right, Jason?
Yes.
Good, because I pressed the button before asking you. uh,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the title of the live stream and stuff. So I mean, not the live stream, but the meeting. Why is my pixel blowing up? Oh. Oh. That's why.
I have a hard out at 3:30.
I know. All right. We're not
Shut
we're not going to go that long.
up, voiceover.
All right.
Turn on Do Not Disturb. Did you do it?
Turn on Do Not Disturb.
Off switch. Do not disturb. Limit interruptions. Sound off switch. On. Accessibility volume set to 40%.
Turn on Do Not Disturb.
Screen off.
I don't remember my speech rate being that slow, but okay. I forgot I have two phones to turn Do Not Disturb off now. Since I finally reset my pixel back up.
Here we go. Tweet is out.
Tweet is out. Tweet is out.
Did you get the stream URL, Taylor, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to on YouTube, you
Should I
just
talk
copy
like
the stream
this on
link.
the show?
What?
Which account did you just tweet it from yours, Taylor, or which ones?
Yeah. Taylor Aren't 22.
Okay.
But I mentioned you in it.
Okay.
But then you can always tweet it yourself. But
I'm
yeah.
tweeting it right now. I just don't know which ones you tweeted it from.
Ooh. Jason.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, that doesn't work as well with this mic. It's not as bassy as
Do
yours.
you hear the echo, Jason?
No.
No?
You don't? Why
No.
don't you hear it? Oh, that's sad. Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
I
We
bet
already have a
everybody on
chat,
YouTube is enjoying this.
Right?
We already
And
have
also,
a chat mic.
don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris is there.
I won't
no,
be tempted
somebody
to.
else is here.
Oh, cool. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, yeah.
I can have TTS chat, but yeah, we have a chatter.
Cool.
Very
Welcome.
good.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, as far as looking at chat is concerned, that'd be great because I'm not able to do it very easily.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it
already have
takes
speech chat set up.
cool. It takes a lot of, at least visually, it's a lot of work. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. So feel free, folks that are on chat, to put stuff into the chat if you're interested in what we're talking about. We may,
Are we doing
send
Apple
messages.
today, too?
Yes, our news section is all on Apple.
Okay.
So,
If- And if we don't get to you, it's Taylor's fault. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
dang. Called out. Called out.
I mean, hi, Taylor.
Welcome, Chris. Chris said that you weren't reading chat, Michael, but welcome, Chris.
Yeah, we talked to him on the room before.
Yeah, we were. Yeah,
Ah.
they were up on
on the
Discord.
gaming Discord room.
But welcome, Chris, either way.
All right.
God, this setup is so much nicer than dealing with my mixer.
All right. Are we recording? Yes, we are. And we're live on YouTube. And I think we're as ready as we're going to be.
So I'm
All
not clipping or anything.
No, you're fine.
Okay, sweet.
All right, everybody ready?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 158 of the iACast. All right, with me today, I have Jeff Bishop,
Hello, everyone.
Jason Earls,
Hello, everyone.
and Taylor Arndt.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So, I also want to welcome everybody that's joining us on YouTube. It's going to be an awesome stream today, so welcome everybody. We have a surprise topic that the panel does not know about, and everybody has been trying to get me to say for the last week, and I've done really good.
Hey,
But
I've
not-
not been too bad about trying to get you to say what the topic is.
Right. Neither have I. I've been really trying to get it out of you for the
At least not
past
seriously,
week, and I
anyway.
can't.
So, but no, it's going to be fun. So we'll get to that after our news segment, and boy, do we have the news!
What a segment it is.
Oh,
Yeah. And we may have entire podcasts related to some of the things that were announced in the news this time.
Some company launched some stuff. The end.
Yeah. There was some very colorful announcements on Tuesday, and we streamed it all on Zoom with a bunch of folks. It was a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun doing that. The audio description was not the best this time, though, on the event.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I don't know that they had a lot of time because there was
Yeah, there was a lot of visuals.
a lot of talking and stuff.
And what we're talking about is the Apple event, if people
Yes.
haven't guessed.
Specifically the spring-loaded event.
Yeah. And, everybody told me, and I want to put this out here, everybody told me we would not see IMAX this time.
Oh, that's
Everybody-
right. I was wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you were wrong, Jason.
Everybody
right.
said no IMAX. It would just be iPads and AirTags. I got my IMAX. I win.
Yeah, Michael versus
although,
everybody. You win, Michael.
although I do also lose because I did not think we'd see iPads. So it was a draw.
Yeah, that's true. We were both right. But it was definitely they definitely had a lot of announcements, from the colorful iMacs, the iPads, the AirTags, new podcast subscription capabilities.
Mute. Cut.
What's happening? Michael?
I hear something going on in somebody's background.
Oh, that like screaming or whatever that is?
Uh-huh.
I was wondering what that was. I thought that was on your end.
That was not on my end.
It's my end. Somebody,
Yeah.
my neighbors are having a fit.
Yeah, you might want to mute whenever that happens.
Well, I didn't want it to interrupt the audio track.
No. Please mute when that happens.
Okay, I just didn't want
Because
to.
it was kind of audible. Thankfully, Jason was talking over part of that. But
I apologize.
was
I
there-
was trying to figure out what was happening.
I couldn't hear it enough to tell whether or not there was any swearing. I just heard scream.
yeah, it was just screaming. But
But obviously, since we want to minimize, that happening in the show, then
yeah,
I
because you
apologize,
can't predict
guys.
what's going to happen. It's not your fault. It's
It's not
just
your
they
fault,
picked a
but-
bad time to start fighting.
yeah,
Yeah, and they're not stopping, so I may have to go in the other room.
yeah. Just mute, and then whenever you need to talk, or if it's quiet, then unmute.
Okay.
It's an unfortunate circumstance of
Yeah.
where you have to live. So
Right?
totally
Hey, at least you have a
understand.
mute switch, Taylor.
Right.
It's not like I don't live in a bad place at all. It's just I think my neighbor's kids are fighting. So, anyways, let's continue on.
Right. All right. And so, Jason, you finish your statement. So we'll cut back in after what you say there. And then,
Right. Should I restart what I said? Because I honestly don't remember where I left off.
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so there's, iMacs and iPads and new podcast subscription services were announced. So really, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot of stuff on the surface, but when you start delving deeper into the details of what they announced, it really is a lot of cool stuff.
So, we got iPads, we've got Macs, we've got AirTags, and we got the podcast stuff. And I'm curious, Jeff, what was your favorite things that we heard from at the event?
Oh, and Apple
AirTags.
TVs.
Apple TVs. AirTags, Jeff?
We bought 12 of them.
Wow.
What are y'all going to use them all for?
We're going to start replacing all of our tiles with AirTags. So
Interesting.
we've probably got 30 tiles on things in the house. I mean, we've put them on everything. Wallets and keys and remotes and I don't know. You probably name it. We probably have it on something.
That's a lot of AirTags.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's interesting because you can only have 16 AirTags per Apple ID. So
Really?
does that
That's
mean that if you have a family
interesting.
subscription, that if there are 3 people in your family, you can have 48 AirTags?
I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
That's weird.
I wonder why
Yeah,
they would limit it like that. Unless it's
I don't know.
server capacity management or something for the Find My network.
That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, I don't. I'm not going to be buying AirTags right now because I don't have a need to be constantly tracking stuff. But I think if I were, I would get AirTags because the Tile app still has some issues, right? Or have they fixed them? Voiceover issues.
It still has some issues.
It has some issues. Yeah, it's not the most friendly voiceover app.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's when I used it, it was definitely usable, but it really had. I think like the tabs were unlabeled and stuff like that. But I mean, I like that voiceover will report the directions sort of to you versus where the AirTag is. So, like it'll tell you that it's ahead of you and to the left or the right or something, right? When you're tracking your item.
And visually, it shows an arrow, so that's really cool.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be really useful. If I do ever need to start tracking stuff, I think the AirTags will be what I decide to go with.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a few. I've only had 2 tiles. I've only ever carried 2 tiles, and that's one in my backpack, one on my luggage. And part of me is conflicted. Tile, I worked with Tile when they came out. I was one of their early test flight beta testers, and they actually have taken some of my feedback. And Tile's been around and it has helped me out, and I've known friends that have been helped by Tile. And so part of me is like, man, I don't want to leave Tile, and I don't want to stop doing business with Tile because they've done some great work and their staff has been just amazing. But at the same time, AirTags are doing some amazing stuff too. So I'm personally kind of conflicted because both of them have been very good products. I'd be also interested to know if you could change the sound that the AirTags make. I've heard it only make the chirping sound, and so
Oh, that's interesting.
that the AirPods make. So I'm curious if they can make other sounds. I also, Tile and all the others are going to be able to join the Find My network. But I also find it a little ridiculous that Apple is putting requirements on manufacturers to join the Find My network because these folks have been doing it longer than Apple. They should be utilizing the resources that are there to make the requirements instead of Apple making their own. And this is kind of always the issue I have with Apple. It's everything is so internalized at Apple that if it's outside of Apple, it's kind of second rate compared to what research and things they do internally. And I kind of feel like they need to shift that perspective because it's not working for them, especially software-wise. There's bugs, accessibility bugs that have been reported on for years, like some Zoom bugs that I've reported for a very long time. I just had my iPad Zoom bug that came out in early iOS 13 that is still there in the late versions of iOS 14. So and then the macOS Zoom bug that was created in Big Sur. I feel like Apple, I've reported that, and Apple has not done anything to fix that at all. So I just feel like I kind of feel like we have these feedback processes, but they're not utilized. I understand, they have to get to the bugs they can get to, but obviously there is room for the improvement on the software side of things. They make amazing hardware, like the new iPad Pro that was announced. And I'm super excited about this iPad Pro because it has an M1 chip and between 8 and 16 gigs of RAM, depending on your storage size, and 2 terabytes of hard drive space on an iPad. Of course, you're going to pay like $2,300 or $2,400 for it, but it's pretty incredible that we can put that in an iPad.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. I think the only thing that really has me kind of like, for people, because I don't have an iPad anymore, is I guess the iPad is just thick enough that the current Magic keyboards don't work quite as well with it. I guess it doesn't close properly or something, from what I'm
Oh,
reading.
do the new Magic keyboards not work well with it?
Well, the current Magic keyboards don't work well with
Oh,
it
yeah, that's what I mean.
from the 12.9-inch iPad Pros.
Oh,
Apparently it's just thick enough that they don't like close properly or something, from what I'm reading.
wow. But
Yeah.
how do they know this? Because the iPad hasn't come out yet. That's what I'm curious about.
I don't remember how this was found out. Maybe they were doing it based on measurements. I don't I don't remember, because we do know that the iPad is what, half a millimeter thicker, I think, right?
Oh, is
than
it?
Yeah, it's a little bit thicker than the
Oh,
last
wow.
generation iPad Pro.
Wow.
So
That's interesting.
yeah, what I found really cool was the stage light, or it's not stage light. What do they call that?
Front stage?
Center stage, front stage.
Yes, something like that. Or it
Feature
keeps
in
you
the
in frame. That is
Yeah.
so awesome.
that I feel like is going to be a lot of help to those of us who have low or no vision, trying to help make sure that we're better in the center of the frame on things like video calls and stuff. I think that's going to be really nice.
Well, and it looks like they've moved the camera to be on the side, guys. Like if it's in landscape, it'll be on the long side, or yeah, the if it's in landscape, it'll be on the top. If it's in portrait, it will be on the right side. So yeah,
Interesting. That makes sense, though.
yep. Because if you're sitting down using a camera on an iPad, you're usually not using it in portrait mode.
Right.
So
I mean, mine was in landscape mode most of the time because of my keyboard. So, and I wanted that wider stereo separation of the speakers.
well, and it also doesn't make sense to have it on the top for portrait, because if you do have it in a keyboard case or any kind of stand, you're going to have it in landscape most likely. So, and then on the other iPad Pros, when it was on the top in portrait mode, if you had it in landscape, it would just shift everything, like you would be off center, so it really didn't look right. But the iPad has the M1 chip, and I still wonder what that's going to mean for pro apps. And I think we're going to see something we've never seen before as far as what this iPad can do.
We've already seen something we've never seen before, an iPad with 16 gigs of RAM.
Right, right, and 2 terabytes of hard drive.
Right. But yeah, I know what you mean, though. I think that's really going to... We very well may see apps like Logic and Xcode and...
Final Cut.
Final. I was like, what is that video thing called?
I think they could happen here pretty soon, but we'll see. We will have to see what comes out for WWDC 2021.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised in some aspects, though, because I kind of thought the iPad would have a bit of a better battery life than what it does. I mean, 10 hours of web browsing on Wi-Fi is, definitely great. I just was expecting it to be, I don't know, more like 15 or something with the M1, but they still have the rating the same.
It's because of that brightness level of 1,000 nits
Well, yeah, I suppose it's true.
that can peak up to, and this is on the 12.9 inch, that can peak up to 1,600, which is amazing. It's going to be one of the brightest screens, and it's a very high quality screen, so I can't wait to see it. The new iMacs look amazing. They're in a bunch of different colors this year, and something I didn't realize. Most of the machines have 4 ports, but the cheapest model only has 2. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read about that a couple days ago. I was like, oh, man.
But I honestly, if you're going to buy an iMac, don't buy that cheaper machine. Don't do it. It doesn't have Ethernet. It doesn't have, won't have 16 gigs of RAM. It might be able to be configured with that. We don't know yet. We can't do configurations yet. But the higher quality machines have 2 regular USB-C ports and 2 Thunderbolt ports. The speakers are at the bottom, just like the other Macs, and they have a big, like the chin, but the bezel is white this time instead of black, so that's a different change. But otherwise, they look like iPads.
Yeah, I was reading yesterday there's a company who's already been making skins for the iMacs. You can get a full body skin. I don't remember what the company's called, but you can get a full body skin. You can get a bezel skin for the iMacs, and it will make the bezels with the skin will be a matte black, I think it was, for people who want that color option, since it was one of the colors Apple didn't actually introduce for the iMac.
Wow, that's cool.
Hmm.
And these things are priced similarly to other iMacs, but these
They're
will not be the
cheaper, slightly.
slightly. And they only have one processor option, except for the cheapest one that has the 7 GPU cores, just like the MacBook Air. But they all are running macOS Big Sur and everything else. There's also new keyboards with Touch ID, and they have multicolored, keyboards and mice and trackpads. So a lot more options there.
And they have it sounds like they took the speaker system of the 16-inch MacBook Pro and adapted it for the desktop form factor.
Similar, I think it might even sound better.
Oh, I'm sure it'll sound better, but I mean the technology with the two
Yeah.
force canceling woofers and the that 6-speaker setup, they brought it over.
Mm-hmm.
So
It'll be great.
yep, studio quality. The studio mic array is on the iMacs now. 1080p camera, which
Yep.
I think the Intel ones had before, but with the ISP, the M1.
Actually, I think this might. I don't know. I don't know if this is better or not. They said it's twice the resolution, so I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the iMac, the Intel iMac right before the M1s actually was upgraded to a 1080p camera, I think.
I'm not sure, but less ports, but more capabilities.
Yeah.
And then we had the new Apple TV 4K with a new Siri remote. The touch panel is gone. The little touch area is gone. There's a click wheel now, and the Siri button's on the side, and there's a kind of a D-pad with 6 directions for arrows, a power button for your TV, and a few other things. But it looks more like the old Siri remote, or no, not Siri, the old Apple TV remote with buttons similar to the new ones. So it's more aluminum. Kind of looks like the old school Apple TV remote.
And it apparently is backwards compatible with the Apple TV HD. You can purchase it for $59, I believe it is. Apparently, unlike the Siri remote that I have for my Apple TV, it does not actually have the accelerometer and stuff that the older
Really?
Siri remotes have. Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Well, that's actually an interesting bit of information. It means that you're not expected to be able to play games with this remote.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they've launched the support for the Xbox controllers and stuff, I'm not that
Well,
surprised.
they say that, but they've had support for the Xbox One and PS4 controllers for a long time.
Have they? I thought this was new.
No, they've had support to be able to use those controllers, at least on the Macs. Maybe not on the Apple TV, but they have on the Mac and the iPad. Now, maybe they support the wireless version of these controllers compared to using them with a cable. But you could definitely play games with those controllers before.
Well, we know it has 32 gigs or 64 gigs of storage. I don't remember the prices for those. It's running on the A12 Bionic.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely sounds like it's going to be a Well, that was distracting.
Wow.
I could not recover from that.
No, you
It wasn't
couldn't.
me this time. That's good. It wasn't me this time.
Oh, it's funny. What was I saying? Oh, I know what I was going to say. All right. 3, 2, 1. So it definitely seems like it's going to be a nice upgrade for people, especially people who are looking for the newer Apple TVs and who have the HD models of them. So,
Yep. So, we got a lot of cool Apple stuff. And I think we could have some entire podcast discussions on some of the things that were announced, and we will. But my favorite two things were iPads and 5G. 5G on the iPad
oh
Pros.
yeah, and the iPad, yeah.
So that's really cool. But I think, we'll have some entire discussions on these devices, so stay tuned for that. That white Magic Keyboard, though, does look pretty sweet for the iPad Pro. I will say, I kind of want it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and skip our ad for today, and we're going to go right to our mysterious topic that people haven't known about. And I wanted Jeff to be here just because of one reason. My first question, Jeff, how many apps do you have on your iPhone right now?
Hold on one second, Michael.
He's got to count them.
We're going to cut for just a second
Yeah.
until Jeff gets back.
Chart. Outer list.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, three. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I have about 900 on my phone, Michael.
Oh, you got more.
Wow.
More apps than I thought. So yes, this episode we had to have Jeff here for this. All right. So, and just to let y'all know that I have not done this myself, so I'm going on the fly here as well. But the challenge is, Jeff, you have to remove 890 apps. You are limited to 10 apps on your phone. All of us are limited to only 10 apps on our phones.
Does this include Apple apps, or does this only include... Oh.
Oh, God. I might just want to
Wait,
leave
that's
this
not
stage
fair
right
exactly
now.
because that there's more than 10 Apple apps. Why don't we say 10 apps?
That's what we're saying.
You add.
Okay, well, we'll do, because
Because that's not fair. There's like 20 something Apple apps.
I know, but I'm saying if you could only have 10 apps, even Apple ones, on your phone, what would they be?
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
So I think my 10 apps would be Discord, Seeing AI, the iAccessibility app, Bard, the Apple News app. Let's see, that's 5, right? Apple Music, YouTube, podcasts, messages, and Safari, I guess, would be my 10 apps.
Interesting. So, let me ask you this: why would you not have the phone app?
Because I figure I can cheat and make phone calls through Siri, and it'll just do it for me without having to use the phone app.
Actually, I wonder if you did delete the phone app. If
I don't think you can delete the phone app.
well, you can't, but technically, if you could, would the phone services still be available on your phone? I think they might be. So yeah, you might be able to get away with that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. All right.
Or
Taylor.
I'll go next.
Okay, Jeff, go next.
Okay. So my 10. Someone keep count of these because I'm not necessarily counting because I'm going through mine.
All right.
So tell me when I get to 10.
I'll be that voice that's like the how
Number
many licks does it
one.
take to get to the
Yes,
to the
number
lollipop? You know, a
one.
one, a
One.
two.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I think because of all of the meetings and everything that I do, it's a lot of these are going to get eaten up by those types of apps, sadly. So Teams is probably number one. Zoom is probably number two. Twitterific would be number three. Libre Link would be number four for health reasons. Overcast would be number five. Messages would probably be number six, just because if I couldn't get a hold of family or family couldn't get a hold of me, I think I would be dead, and then it wouldn't matter how many apps I had on my phone. Let's see. Clubhouse would probably be number seven, although that probably would potentially fall away eventually, but that one would be interesting. The App Store app would probably be number eight because
snap.
I would have to be able to get updates of these apps,
Oh yeah.
and that would be really critically important for me. Number 9 would be 1Password, because all my passwords are in there, and if I couldn't get access to accounts, then some of these things would be for naught, and it wouldn't matter how many apps I had on my phone. And number 10 would be the Outlook app, because mail, again, one of these things that's very important thing to have, both for personal and professional reasons. So those are my 10.
Man, this is hard because now I'm like, dang, I would actually need notes. I would need mail. I would need. Oh man. Wow.
So what we'll do is we'll go around, and so Taylor and then me will go through our 10, and then I'll give you one opportunity to change your list.
You know what? The 10 apps on my iPhone, and then I'm cheating and using the other ones on my Pixel. Boom.
No, doesn't count. Does
Not
not
allowed.
count. Not allowed.
I wouldn't change mine though. I don't think I would.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Taylor, you're up.
Okay. I figured it was my turn. So, let's see. First, we're going to have apps like Google Voice, because I need that to run my business. We're going to have Zoom for my meetings that I have a ton of. We're going to have Teams for more of my meetings. So that's 3. We're going to have Outlook because I need my mail. I need messages because, again, if I don't have messages, my family would probably, and of course, because of my family crisis right now. That's 4, y'all? Am I
5.
keep track?
Yeah, that's
5? Wait, 5 or 4?
no, that was 4.
4. Okay.
Okay, App Store, that's 5, because obviously I need my updates, like where all we're saying. Dashlane, because I need access to all my accounts and my passwords, because if I don't have those, then how am I going to get into anything? Let's see here. Dashlane, then we're going to have Clubhouse, because it seems like my life runs on Clubhouse these days. We're going to have Twitter, because I need to be able to communicate with people and see it blow up after I get mentioned and a whole bunch of things. My 8, I'm not counting.
You're on
here.
8.
8?
Unless I'm not counting correctly, you're on 8.
We'll go with 8.
We're going to have phone so I can make phone calls.
One more.
One more. Oh gosh. Let's see. And we're going to have QuickBooks so I can do my accounting.
All right.
That was hard.
Right?
Please
Oh,
don't
that
tell
would
me
suck
we're
if
gonna delete all our
voiceover
apps
was-
and just do this for a week or something, because I will.
That would suck if
I
voiceover
will go
counted as
into
an app.
oblivion.
Although technically, if you think about it, Siri, VoiceOver, and all of those things are actually apps, but we just don't count those.
Right. We can't. They're built into the. Well, yeah.
They're system level services.
Eh.
All right, my 10. Phone, number 1. Messages, number 2. Safari, number 3. Mail is number 4.
You almost had my dock and 4 apps.
Those are my essential phone app, like for communications and all that. I'll go with Zoom as number 5. I will go with Notes as number 6. I will go with Chase Bank as number 7, because getting to your banking is very important. I will go with Discord. I believe that's number 8.
Yep.
And I will go with did I say Zoom?
You said Zoom.
Said Zoom. Okay, good. Excellent. It's difficult.
Right?
Let's see. It's more difficult for me than y'all because and I've had a week to think about this.
Yeah, so you don't have any excuses, my friend.
I know. But I purposefully didn't think about it so that it would be just as much of a challenge for me on the show. What are 2 other apps that Twitter would be 1 for social media. So that's 9. And I'll go with Instacart for getting my groceries. Number 10.
I just have one comment. Nobody mentioned a browser.
I said
I
Safari.
did.
Oh, you did mention Safari.
Yeah, both
Okay.
Michael and I mentioned Safari.
Oh, you mentioned Safari too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I that's interesting. I still think that the Apple app shouldn't count. Like I think that the apps that, because can you even delete Safari?
Yes, I believe you can.
Oh, I'm
think
gonna try it.
There's
Hold on.
there's a very few apps you can delete now. You could delete Mail.
Yeah, you can delete Mail, you can delete stocks, I think you can delete Health.
Mm-hmm. You can delete Health.
You can delete...
Watch.
Yeah, you can delete Watch.
You can delete Home.
Oh, yeah, you can delete Home. Oh, crap, I forgot about Home.
No, you cannot remove Safari.
Okay.
Really? I thought
Well,
you
I
could.
don't have that problem because I don't have any HomeKit devices. So
You can
I have
remove
a HomePod.
the home screen, but you cannot
Oh.
remove it from the phone.
Oh.
then technically we all have a browser then.
But the interesting thing is, if you look at a person with Android could really say that if you looked at Android though, you could delete all apps. And every Android phone does not have the same apps, so that's why I say even on iPhone for this choice I wanted y'all to come up with stuff without the Apple apps. And the interesting thing is, you could delete voice memos. You could delete, Measure, pretty much every app that's there. And it's interesting to think about priorities, right? I was surprised I was the only one that thought about the banking app. Like,
I know, I was like, oh, I thought about it before you had mentioned it. I was like, oh, dang. I've got to delete something to replace it with my banking app.
You cannot delete Health either.
really?
I thought you... Interesting.
Nope. Nope.
I just don't ever want to think about this again because it's just too hard. We have too many.
Right.
I think what would have been more interesting would have been, what apps would you put on your home screen, on the first page of your home screen, and you could only have those apps.
There's a few more. And actually, the problem there is, though, there's different sizes of home screens.
Oh, for different devices.
Okay, so
that's
let's
true.
say that you get that extra 4 line of 4. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Is there? I think there's some, like the iPod. Is I think there's 4 less than even the iPhone on the iPod. It's actually interesting, the sizes of home screens. Plus, you could change the size of your home screen in settings with the zoom, the normal or zoomed.
Right, and it
Oh,
adds
the
another
display
row.
thing.
Is what it does. That's all it does.
Another row based on your phone screen size. Yes. So like if you have like a if you had like a smaller phone, yeah. But it's interesting, some have 12, some have 16, some have it's interesting, the sizes. But, and it's interesting because there are some people that do not use the built-in apps. Like some people don't even use the phone app. Some people use Telegram as their primary messaging service.
Or even WhatsApp.
Yeah, Telegram, WhatsApp. I'm
Facebook
sure they're
Messenger.
Especially
you've got
in
your
other
iPhone,
countries.
right. And if you have your iPhone disconnected or whatever, or it's your secondary device, some people may use the apps from their carriers in order to make and receive calls, like T-Mobile's Digits app, for instance. So it's definitely an interesting exercise, and I'm going to say right now, I am not limiting myself to my 10 apps. I'm not doing it.
Me neither. I will refuse to do it. I'm just
I will
saying.
talk about this all day, but I'm not limiting
Oh
myself
no,
to this.
I never. But if you think about it though, if you think about where iPhone came from, there was probably about 10 apps. Back in 2007, we had, the 4 in the dock. Well, we probably had a few more than that, but we didn't have apps. We didn't have the App Store. We didn't have anything to download, and everything. Imagine this: your web browser, whatever one you picked in your 10 apps, if you picked one, you'd have to do everything on the web. And, there's this big argument. Should we use progressive web apps or native apps? And I always go for native apps every time. But it's interesting, looking at what people are using compared to, what they could be using. I mean, like some people use Google Assistant on their iPhone instead of Siri. Or, because you could do that with a shortcut. Which is
right, or a back tap gesture or something.
So it's interesting, looking at we use our iPhones in a very cookie cutter manner, I think, as the 4 of us. But there are some people that really take it to that next level, and they say, "I'm going to use shortcuts to really extend this." I saw an article where you could use shortcuts to listen to different Sirius XM channels, which is really neat. Even though they don't have that built into the app to do that, you could still add that. And so the things that are there to extend your use of your device is interesting, but it's also interesting to see if you didn't have all these features, you didn't have even, you could only pick between what's out there and what's not. That's what's kept possible. I want to thank our friend Doug Langley for suggesting this topic, because I thought it would be a very interesting thing for folks to have to, including myself, to have to come up with. And we had somebody on Discord. They were going through, well, I would pick this app. No, but I could replace that with this, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, it really definitely makes you think. And those of you who are on the show right now will probably remember, because I griped about it back in the iOS 14 betas when widgets started first becoming a thing. I had my pages of widgets set up that I wanted to do, and I had ideas on what widgets I wanted, and I decided I was going to set this up after having my home screen organized into folders and stuff, and it deleted most of my folders and moved my apps all over the place. So what I ended up deciding to try to do, which lasted for about a day, was I would, because I have a page of widgets which has the Siri suggestions widget on it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just let all of my apps live in the library and just see how accurate Siri suggested widgets, Siri's app suggestions are, based on how I use my phone, and I'll see if it's good, aside from the apps on my dock, at predicting what I want when I want it. and I just didn't feel comfortable not having access without having to use Siri to do it to the rest of the apps I wanted. So it's definitely a very interesting. You don't tend to stop and think about how many apps you're using on your phones or other devices until you do things like this.
Cut. Jason, I've got to ask a question.
What?
Did you mute for a second a little while ago?
I did.
Did you, was that because of Pepsi?
It was.
That bled through!
Did it? Seriously?
Yes!
Outtake for sure.
Did it seriously bleed through? That's
Yes, it did.
hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious.
I heard
I didn't even hear it.
I did.
Wow.
I heard because occasionally I hear myself talking like I can hear myself bleed back through your headphones. And
Well, Taylor is using the same mic. Are we sure? Are you sure you're not hearing yourself sometimes bleed back through her headphones? Because mine.
no, dude, I think you may have shortened your cable. Because sometimes when you talk, I hear like this staticky sound.
Yep, so do I.
Oh, that's weird. I don't. I'm monitoring my mic
Like
and I
it's-
don't hear that at all.
Yeah, it's like this kind of
This hiss.
yeah, this hiss whenever you're
I hear
talking.
it.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I don't hear it.
It's only sometimes when you talk.
Yep.
But yeah, it totally bled through.
Wow, that's hilarious. I thought I was being sneaky.
What were we trying to do now?
All right, we are about to wrap up anyway. But
I'm broken.
I'm sitting here on YouTube and I've got this huge grin on my face, looking away from the camera.
Man, this stream's been this stream's been.
Okay, so here's the question: if I mute,
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
really.
Really? Now. Or wait, I don't have a clue what's going on.
Now we can't hear it.
oh, that's weird. I was like, was it using my Mac's internal mic the whole time? That would have been
No.
embarrassing.
Yeah, who would?
Wow,
Oh
Wow.
that's hilarious.
no. Man. This stream's
Oh,
been
man.
crazy.
It has. All right, let's wrap up, guys. By the way, do y'all have picks?
Nope.
If y'all don't, Jeff, do you have one?
No.
We'll go without him today. I don't either.
Okay, good, because I think I had one, and that just blew my pick out of my brain.
Picked it right out, right? Mm-hmm. All right, guys, let's wrap up.
That's funny.
Were you done saying what you were going to say, or do you even remember what that was?
I don't, but I think I was done.
Okay. All right. Are you
Good
good
luck
at-
editing that out.
Did you hear it, Jeff? Did you hear what I was talking about?
I did hear it. I don't know how we're gonna edit that out.
Wow. No, we could edit it out. I left space.
Yeah, he did. There was a little bit of silence. So,
But I
Just-
want to listen to the recording and see all
you'll have to edit the sound and then edit the
Or be
cut.
one of our outtakes. We'll have to
Splice it.
improvise it and make it really long and repeat and do all kinds of stuff to it.
Well, we're gonna have 2 outtakes from this stream.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
Yes, it was.
The
Oh my
screaming neighbor
goodness.
and the burp. Yes.
Yep. Be like hashtag
man.
apartment life.
That's what we should call the episode. The burping,
No.
screaming neighbor.
No, but that is funny.
Burp loaded.
Burp loaded.
I love that. That's
I
what we
love
should call
it.
it. I love it. Let's do it.
No, we're not.
Yes,
No.
let's do it.
That
Let's
would
call
be
it belch
that-
loaded.
We would have to leave the sound in this
Right.
in the file, and we're not going to do
You
that.
could open it with it.
No.
So obviously I earned an F.
Yep.
All right, Chris, that's your cue. Put an F in the chat
Right?
if you're still here.
Dang it, Vmoda, I thought I could trust you.
Guess you can't anymore. Maybe you should have the MPOW cable set up. I still haven't replaced my
Oh,
my
man.
Roomba ate my splitter.
My headset died. That's the problem. That microphone doesn't work anymore.
Oh, my Roomba ate my splitter, so that's where that went.
That was hilarious.
All right, guys, let's finish up.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, I think this has been an interesting, podcast. We've had a lot of, good conversations, and we've gone over a lot of, this topic I think really makes people think, and so, tweet us and let us know what 10 apps you would have on your iPhone if you couldn't, have any Apple apps or anything other than that. iAccessibility1 on Twitter. So let us know, and just use the hashtag iACast, and we will be watching for those.
And don't worry, we can't be offended if one of your apps isn't iAccessibility, considering Michael didn't pick it on his apps list.
Nope. I could go to the website for that.
Or you could get it off of Xcode.
I could.
Look at you building in loopholes,
Developer
Taylor.
Yep. Oh, he was just saying, like, I could. That's a loophole for me to be able to add an app. But
Yeah, see?
But all right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up today. So, Taylor, where can people find you online?
You can find me online in so many places. Let's see. You can find me on Twitter, Taylor_Arndt22. On Clubhouse. You can find me on my website, both my Taylor's Tech Talks website for my podcast and YouTube channel, and my Taylor's Accessibility Services website for my company, so taylorarndt.com for that. You can also find me on YouTube, again, at Taylor's Tech Talks. Feel free to subscribe and do that there. You can find me producing content for iAccessibility. So email me at taylor@iaccessibility.net. And you can also find me just all over the web. So I'm all over. And yeah, those are places where you can find me online.
Excellent. Jeff, where can people find you online?
Holy cow, that was like a treasure hunt. Okay, well, people can find me on Twitter at Jeff Bishop. You can email me at jeff.bishop@iaccessibility.net. Or you can find me on Clubhouse at JeffBiz. JEFFBIS is my alias on Clubhouse. Or you can just search for Jeff Bishop. I can be found there. Thanks, everybody.
Jason, where can people find you online?
People can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at jason@iaccessibility.net. You can also find me on Clubhouse from time to time. If you do, feel free to say hi. You can find me on Twitter at JDE, that is Juliet Delta Echo 91.
All right. You can find me, Michael Doise, producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at Mike Doise, that's MikeDoise at iAccessibility.net. I'm Mike Doise on Twitter and pretty much everything else, Clubhouse included. You can find me on Facebook, search for Michael Doise, and you could also find me on my website, michaeldoise.com, and I have a YouTube channel that needs updated, but I'm there as Michael Doise, and so I'm all over the web. Just search for me, and you could find iAccessibility around as well. If you are watching us from YouTube, and I hope that there's plenty of you guys that are, I want to thank you for being here, being in the chat. Please subscribe, like the video, and hope you come back for next time. If you turn on notifications, you'll be notified when we go live, and that way you can see when we do our live content. So I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been a great podcast, and I'm glad that everybody that's been on the panel has been good sports about our topic, because it was a surprise for a week. So I'm glad that we had some fun talking about the apps that would be, the most useful for us. So we'll be back in another 2 weeks with a new episode of the iACast. But until then, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
I wanted to laugh for so long. Oh my goodness, that is just hilarious.
Are we still on YouTube?
Yes.